Hello everyone! I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Corey and I work for the Lesser Slave Forest Education Society as the Executive Director. And today we're here to talk about animal life cycles. Lots of different types of animals live in the boreal forest and we're going to be learning about their life cycles today. So we're going to be talking about the different animals at different stages in their life cycle. So what does the term life cycle mean? Well, it's the growth and development of animals, and different animals have different life cycles. So many animals look a lot different in their baby stages than in their adult stages. Some life cycles require animals to go through a metamorphosis. What does metamorphosis mean? Well, it's made up of three Greek words. Meta means change, morph means shape, and osis means process. So altogether, they mean the process of changing shape. Many insects change shape as they go through the stages of their life cycle. Here you can see the life cycle of a butterfly. It starts off as an egg when an adult butterfly lays her eggs on a leaf. When the egg hatches, it turns into a caterpillar or larva. The larva is very hungry, so it starts eating the leaf. It eats and eats until it gets really big and it turns into a pupa. Another term for a pupa is cocoon or chrysalis. This is the stage where it starts to go through metamorphosis and changes into an adult butterfly. Then the whole process starts all over again. Do you think that adult butterflies take care of their young? Well, the answer is no. They just leave them on the leaf to fend for themselves. Do the young stages of butterfly look like the adult stages? Again, the answer is no. We can see in this picture the caterpillar looks very different from the adult butterfly. In animals who undergo metamorphosis, the babies look very different from the adults. Let's take a look at the life cycle of a mosquito. It starts off with a raft of eggs on the water. The eggs hatch and turn into larvae. Another name for mosquito larvae is wriggler because of the way they wriggle around in the water. Larvae are always very hungry. They love to eat. They will eat and eat and eat until they get so big their skin gets too tight and then they shed off their skin. Sometimes you can see mosquito skins that have been shed in the water of a pond or a marsh. Once they've eaten enough food, they turn into a pupa. Another name for pupa is tumbler because they tumble in the water. Notice the two tubes coming from the pupa head that stick out of the water. And do you know what they're for? If you guessed to breathe, you are correct. The larva likes to stick its butt out of the water, and that is for breathing. When the pupa is finished metamorphosis, it'll crack open and out will come an adult mosquito. Do you think mosquitoes take care of their young? No, they lay their eggs on the water and then fly away. Do young mosquitoes look like adult mosquitoes? No. The young look very different than the adults because they go through the metamorphosis. Let's take a look at the life cycle of an ant. Ants start off as eggs, they hatch into larvae, become pupa, and then finally adults. An ant's home is called a nest, and they make their nests in soil or sand. Each nest contains hundreds of ants. One is called the queen, and she lays all the eggs. The others are called workers. And they have different jobs, such as feeding the larvae or gathering food. There are many rooms in a nest that are used for different things. For example, the larvae have a room, and there's another room for the pupa. Do ants take care of their young? Yes, they do. They feed their young and they take care of them as they grow up. But the ant larvae in the picture do not look like the adult ants because they go through the metamorphosis. Now we're going to take a look at the life cycle of a dragonfly. Dragonflies have three life stages: egg, nymph, and adult. Dragonflies lay their eggs on plants or in the water, and then they hatch into fierce nymphs. Nymphs are very good hunters and will eat almost anything that moves in the water. They like to eat mosquito larvae, other dragonfly nymphs, and even tadpoles if they can get them. They'll keep hunting and eating as nymphs for up to 4 years before they're ready to climb up out of the water and turn into an adult dragonfly. Do adult dragonflies take care of their young? Well, no, they don't, because they lay their eggs in the water and then fly away. Do dragonfly nymphs look like the adults? Well, the nymphs slightly resemble the adults. In animals like the dragonfly, where there's only one middle nymph stage, the young may slightly resemble the adults. They must still undergo metamorphosis to grow their wings and become adults. So we've looked at the life cycles of different types of insects. Now let's look at some other types of animals. So what are the life stages of a frog? They are egg, tadpole, froglet, and then frog. So frogs lay their eggs in a clump on the water. Once the eggs hatch, they swim around as tadpoles feeding on algae. They slowly grow limbs and become a froglet or metamorph, and then eventually develop into an adult frog. Do frogs take care of their young? Well, some do and some don't. Some species of tree frog will carry their babies around their back. Most of the frogs in Alberta's boreal forest, though, do not take care of their young. Does the tadpole look like the adult frog? Well, no. The tadpole looks very different from the adult, and frogs go through a complete metamorphosis. In the boreal forest of Alberta, we have a few different species of frogs and toads. The boreal coarse frog is very tiny, and their call sounds like the sound you make when you run your finger down the edge of a comb. Let's take a listen. That was the boreal chorus frog. Now let's take a listen to the wood frog. The wood frog can get a bit bigger in size, and their call sounds just like a duck. What are the differences between frogs and toads? Well, frogs spend more time in the water than toads do. Toads have bumps on their skin, while frogs do not. Their eggs look similar, but frogs lay their eggs in a clump, while toads lay theirs in a line. What's the life cycle of a bird? Like this bald eagle? Well, it's pretty simple. There's just the egg, the young, and then the adult. Birds do not go through metamorphosis. Once they hatch from their egg, they look like mini versions of their parents. They'll grow in size over the course of their life, and the color of their feathers may change, but they won't undergo a drastic physical change between the stages of their life cycle. And adult birds do take care of their young. They're very good parents to their young, and often both parents will participate in protecting the nest and feeding their babies. Next, we're going to take a look at the life cycle of a mammal, such as this black bear. What is a mammal? Well, mammals are warm-blooded animals with fur or hair, and they feed their babies milk when they're young. And the life cycle of a mammal? Well, it's pretty easy again. There's baby, young, and then adult. And mammals do not go through metamorphosis. When they're born, they look like a smaller version of their parents. They'll grow bigger over the course of their life, but they won't undergo a dramatic change in body structure. And of course, mammals do take care of their young. They actually take care of their young really well. For example, mother bears will take care of their cubs for up to 1 to 2 years. Let's just do a quick review of the different types of animals and their life cycles. Insect life cycle stages can be either egg, larva, pupa, adult, like the mosquito, or they can be egg, nymph, and adult for the dragonfly. Frog life cycles have 4 stages: egg, tadpole, froglet, frog. Bird and mammal life cycles each have 3 stages: egg, young, adult for birds, and baby, young, adult for mammals. While insects and frogs go through metamorphosis, birds and mammals do not. Now we're just going to review some of the creatures that can be found in ponds in our area. First, we have the predaceous diving beetle. The larva is called the water tiger, and then the adult is the predaceous diving beetle. Next, we have the damselfly nymph, which turns into the damselfly, and the mayfly nymph, which turns into the mayfly. We have the caddisfly larva, which turns into the caddisfly, and the really neat thing about the caddisfly larva is they actually make their own home out of sticks or rocks. There's the whirligig beetle, the water boatman, and the back swimmers. These can all be found in the local ponds. There's bloodworms, phantom midge larvae, side swimmers, and midges. And then we have the very tiny marsh monsters, which you can only see if you look very closely, or some of them you do need a microscope. The water flea, the sea shrimp, the water mite, and the copepod, who's also called Cyclops because he only has one eye. The water strider walks on water. And now that we've discussed the life cycles of lots of different types of animals, we're going to do a metamorphosis challenge. I'm going to show you an animal from the boreal forest, and you need to guess if that animal undergoes metamorphosis or does not undergo metamorphosis during its life cycle. Does a mallard undergo metamorphosis? No, birds do not go through metamorphosis. The life cycle of a duck, we have egg, young, and adult. And another name for a young duck is a duckling. Do bumblebees undergo metamorphosis? Yes, they do. Here's the life cycle of a bee. Egg, larva, pupa, and adult. And do bees take care of their young? Yes. Does a gray wolf undergo metamorphosis? No, mammals do not go through metamorphosis. The life cycle of a wolf is baby, young, and adult. And a baby wolf is called a pup. Caddisflies, did they undergo metamorphosis? Yes. The life cycle of a caddisfly, egg, larva, pupa, and adult. We're going to finish up with a life cycle activity matchup. So you're going to get a Google Doc that asks you to fill in the life cycle. Thank you so much for watching. I look forward to our virtual field trip.